Hey, oops. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. um, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good time zones. My name is Sapphire Umi. I'm a wandering cat. A human, well, usually a cat. But this week, in celebration of the love, romance, and heartbreak debutante ball, yeah, I have to show up in my gala gown and be a human. I mean, there is a lot of love going around. Plus, happy Lunar New Year. um, yeah. So, yeah, that's why I've got enough like goodwill going around, essence to turn into essence and be human for the whole week. Oh yeah, for those who haven't seen my outfit, hold up. Let me get out of my chair. Oop, get out. Yeah. And show you. There we go. This is my outfit. This is my gala outfit. Ta-da! I like my skirt. I like my skirt a lot. Whee! Yeah, so for the whole week, I'll be playing a lot of games. Well, mostly visual novels that are being uh, backed up by the by the event. He's going to the Grammys. Jeez. Yeah, I'm just there to support all my favorite singers. Lol, Tony. Yeah. So yeah, this is what I'm wearing to the ball this week, and yeah, I'm excited to play the games. A lot of my Prism sisters also kind of chose the same top but different designs. So I really like this combo for myself. So and this color palette. I really like my skirt, but I can't always show my skirt. Too bad. Okay, let's start the game. Let's try it. So, for those who are wondering, this game is actually been released in Steam for quite a bit, and it's also a free game. So it's been out since April 26 last year, and yeah, it's a visual novel, romance, but we're also trying to unravel a murder mystery. So I'm pretty excited to see like how this turns out. Who is the bad guy? Oh, oh, hi, Captain Erica. Dev here. Thanks. Aw, it's my pleasure, really. Thank you so much for letting me play your game. Yeah. Dun dun dun. Okay. Meanwhile, let me get the chocolate ready for everybody. Cause like, it is still the month for love of Valentine's. Where is the chocolate? Chocolate? There it is. Ta-da! How would you like it, master? Yeah, thank you very much, Erica, for checking out my stream. Um, yeah, we're just gonna have fun here and see where this goes. I'm really curious, like, how did the ghost come to be? Oh, there's a music box. Really bad. Oh, bonus scenes. Okay, I'm curious. I'm curious. Let's start. Let's start. Ooh. Dedicated to Nick, who helped me turn a dream into a story. Aw. That's really sweet. Part 1, Setting Sun. Oh, this scene here looks very familiar to a lot of Southeast Asian beaches. But then again, there's this like kind of floating pier, so it might not be in Southeast Asia. June 6th, 1987. Ooh, 87. I sometimes wonder how much the world would change if I saw it as someone else. Oh. I guess like that's like a pretty common thought. At least it's a thought that I usually have. Do you? Do you guys have that kind of thought too? Take Mrs. Williams over there. She manages to keep up a polite smile on her wrinkled old face as she nods along with Mrs. Johnson's babbling about how great her kids are. I mean, don't all moms do that? I took that sunset picture at my family's cabin in the Midwest of the US. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, not a lot of Southeast Asian like beaches would have that kind of like floating pier dock. Okay, yes. I've only seen that in like American movies. Especially like the one from I think it was Goosebumps or something, like way back when, and there was like a scary floating algae kind of thing eating humans out of that floating pier. No, that was scary to watch as a kid. But in the gaps of their one-sided conversation, you can see Mrs. Williams' eyes betray the smile on her face as she looks past Mrs. Johnson to somewhere further away. Ooh, did you see the ghost? Mrs. Williams' husband died a year ago after a long battle with an autoimmune disorder. The world of Mrs. Williams. Is it bright like a smile or gray like a vacant stare? Without her story, you never know. Ooh. Then there's Farmer Todd, who is lecturing a couple of kids who were misbehaving. He's a typical grouchy type, never happy with how the world is, never happy about what people are doing. Most of the pictures were taken by the author and myself in the area the VN is based off of. Oh, that's pretty great. Okay. Yeah, and like talk about like staying safe from copyright problems. Yeah, I really like it. It's it's a bit personal, like a personal touch. I've never been to the US, just so you know. Despite that, if you pay careful attention, you can see Farmer Todd trying to suppress a smile. His wife and kids died in a traffic accident with a logging truck, and ever since he's decided to do what he can to help guide others. It sounds like a bunch of them have experienced losing people in their lives. Ooh. But Farmer Todd's like really, what's the word? A good guy. Well, there's a better word for that, but I can't think. My brain's not working. The world of Farmer Todd. Is it the world of someone irritably chipping away at their lonely days, or the world of someone determined to make the world a slightly better place? Aww. Actually, yeah. Very thoughtful kind of phrase. Chipping away at their lonely days. I mean, to me, that's kind of like VTubing. That's kind of like streaming. Yeah, just being here and being able to like connect with some people in chat. Yeah. And someone determined to make a world a slightly better place. I mean, isn't that sometimes what we all try to do? Oh, what? A fish lap right now in my gala gown, Tony. Thanks for the redeem. I've now fixed my redeems for this new version of my model. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for trying it out, Tony. Each and every one of us, we're all a Mrs. Williams or a Farmer Todd, individuals with unique inner worlds. All of us have a story worth sharing. Aw, true. We all have something to say. I bounded along the canal front walkway, adorned with festival stalls as the evening sunset began its retreat. What again? I can't eat that right now, Tony. Not in this gown. um, Starved because festival based on. On the first weekend of every June, our small town of Alcantra, located in the northern tip of Michigan, holds a festival with the extremely original name, the Summer Festival. No! Not another slap. How many seconds has that been? I thought there was a a timeout. A timeout. That was the last. Oh, 3 fish, huh? That's how much you care. That's how much. I see what you're doing, Tony. Thank you. I fish you too. Once upon a time, Alcantra was a town named Cunnington, which was known for copper mining and lake fishing. Then a little over 100 years ago, the leader of this town, Alistair Thorne, proposed changing the town name to Alcantra in remembrance of his recently departed lover. Oh my god, this is like a lot of heartbreak right here. A loss of a husband, a loss of wife and kids, and now a loss of a lover. Ooh. The story goes that Alistair had been on the brink of death, and just as he was about to pass on into the afterlife, the ghost of his beloved Alcantra met him on the fringes between life and death and convinced him he needed to live. Oh my god. He was able to make a recovery, and afterwards, he decided to rename the town in honor of his wife, and proposed an annual festival in remembrance of her. Aww, that's really sweet. To this day, we still celebrate the summer festival every first weekend of June, though what was once a celebration about cheesy sentiment, like the endurance of love and the importance of connection, has devolved into a wonderful excuse to get drunk, light up explosives, and eat lots of cheap food. Not that the typical Midwesterner needed any excuse to do those things. I mean, I bet a lot of people didn't need an excuse to do those things. But geez, I mean, I guess for like a lot of things we celebrate from day to day, like take Lunar New Year and stuff, or probably even Valentine's, it's probably not the same or as it was intended before. But that's how it keeps on living anyway. Kind of like languages. Did you know that for a language to be considered alive, it needs to keep evolving to have new words or integrate new ones from different languages? Which is kind of why they say Latin is a dead language, because it cannot take it can no longer evolve, and it does not integrate in new words from different languages because it is of itself. Kind of like thing. Anyway, maybe it's because I'm not allowed to drink yet, or that most of the food I eat is already pretty cheap, but I always think of this festival in relation to its romantic origins. Aw, at least someone's still honoring like the original origins. Well, I doubt that I'll ever meet anyone who loves me enough to meet me in purgatory to convince me to live. I do like the idea that new perspectives can open up the world in ways that would be impossible with just your own. I imagine that what Alcantra told Alistair was a story of her life, and it was the story that convinced him to live. That we needed other viewpoints, not just our own, to help us get through life. Hey, hi, Lance. Thanks for the redeem, but like, fish slap. Not in this gown. I look special and I'm trying to feed everybody chocolate. What you guys doing? Why? Why? As I was having these thoughts, I saw Mrs. Williams managing to flee from Mrs. Johnson's verbal barrage, and I decided I would put my sentimental feelings on hold to get some ice cream from the Johnsons' stall. Love. How you doing, Lance? It's been a while. Yeah, we're trying out the Ghost of Alcantra, and so far it's very it's kind of heartwarming, and it's like it kind of shares a lot of thoughts that I sometimes have to myself. Anyway, hey Nick, glad you could stop by. While Burton and Terrence not with you today? Yeah, just me today. While Burton's family is out fishing and Terrence has decided he's too cool to go to local festivals. Believes solitude is the way to go. Mr. Johnson chuckled in response. Well, tell you what, kid. Since I don't want you to feel lonely, I'll give you an extra cone. Aw, I want ice cream too. Well, give me ice cream. I want ice cream too. I rolled my eyes, but accepted the charity. Don't roll your eyes. You accepted it. Say, wasn't Mrs. Raddick supposed to be helping out with your stall? I feigned concern about the efficiency of their ice cream operation, but I was mostly concerned about the quality. Mrs. Raddick was a quiet woman who didn't talk much, but man, did she know desserts. Ooh, what kind of desserts? I was a big fan of her bakery downtown, though I had no doubt she could work her miracles for an ice cream stall too. Why not? You can make all flavors. And like chili chocolate ice cream. Oh man, that's really good. It like kind of tingles on your tongue, but then there's like the chocolate and the dairy from the ice cream too. Wow. Man, I miss having that kind of chocolate ice cream. Mrs. Johnson huffed. Yeah, where is Marina? Very unlike her to bail. I'm gonna have to stop by this evening and give her a good scolding. She knows how much the town looks forward to her stall every year. Yeah, not like her at all. Hope she's alright. I thanked the Johnsons for the ice cream, struggled to pay with 2 cones in my hands, and left them grumbling about Mrs. Raddick's absence. The fireworks show was going to start soon, and I had my special spot to get to. So if the opening was any indication, the author has his PhD in philosophy. No wonder, because like all the deep thoughts. Oh my god. Especially like just the first line. Thinking about living a life in someone else's perspective. No wonder. Very well written, very well written. Also, congrats to their PhD. I only stopped till what? My undergraduate degree? Yeah. My special fireworks spot was a little clearing at the bottom of a path, heading towards the shore. Hi, Giant! Bonk! Why am I getting bonked? Thanks for the redeem. How are you, Giant? I'm not really a loner, but I always watched the fireworks alone. Dryad, you should try out this game. It's It's philosophical. This little excursion was my yearly excuse to find myself under the lights of a supposed centuries-long romance. Oh, okay, our character is a bit of a romantic. What is this game? It's called the Ghost of Alcantra, and it talks a lot about love, apparently, but also loss, because a lot of like the people that they've talked about has lost someone in their life. um, it's not a laughing matter, but I'm laughing nervously. Damn it. Very comfy. Good morning, Giant. Love is spooky? Um, I guess when it comes to you, Dryad, I guess so. The way you love Resident Evil has no comparison. I weaved my way through the crowd till I made it to the outskirts of the festival. I finished up my ice cream as nightfall began to settle in, though the calming ambience of the emerging moon did little to quiet the racket behind me. I've never understood fireworks as a group spectacle. Nothing like the cheering of crowds, the hollering of drunks, and the crying of children to kill the atmosphere. That's why I wanted to watch the fireworks from... Oops, I clicked right. I did a right click. Oopsie. I wanted to watch the fireworks from my special spot. I guess so. Like, in a way, it's nice to watch fireworks alone, but then again, it's also nice to share like a special moment with someone who appreciates it the way you do. Oh, hi, Neko. Hello, hello. You know what? I should do multiple shoutouts of my friends here. Let me do a shout out of Yami Neko and also Dryad Knight and also Economicon, not Mecon VT. There you go. I hope I typed everything right. Yeah. For those who don't know, Seribot now has a command to do multiple shoutouts. And it's pretty handy. Very handy. Yeah. All you have to do is just type exclamation MSO and then the names of your friends who you want to shout out, separated by a space. Everyone following, she's always... Oh, what? Giant, no, you make me happy, man. I'm not sure about making you happy, but thanks. If you say so. I hope you're having a nice morning breakfast or something. Yeah, I would say having a good breakfast keeps your tummy warm, especially in the cold season. Yeah, MSO. As I was just about to head through the trail to get to my fireworks spot, I saw a girl sitting on the grass by the canal front. Oh, that's his special place. Claire the Loon. Oh, I like her name. I like her name. I like this character already. Whenever there was a period of my life whenever I would try to make a character in RPG games, I would name them Claire. Claire is just a nice name, you know. She wore a simple but elegant summer dress and sat with downright offensively good posture. Ooh, I have bad posture. Does anybody else have good posture when you sit? Because I don't. I always shrimp. It's been a problem. But yeah, at least I try to like make my lower back stronger do some exercises for my lower back so I don't have like bad problems later on. But what caught my attention the most was the expression on her face. Yeah, why does she look sad? She's really pretty though. Just becomes she critter? No, I don't want to be a shrimp. I eat shrimp. She had a blank look with empty eyes. She was facing the canal, but taking in nothing. It looked like a gust of wind could take her far away from here. The closer I got, the more I could sense that there was a loneliness to her. Solitary fireworks viewing was my thing, but solitude is best when it is chosen, not when it is routine. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Don't say that. But also, I mean, gotta say it because it is part of it, the story. I thought about the summer festival and what it meant to me, and decided it was worth the attempt to see if there was anything behind that empty expression. He's gonna try to go for love? I cautiously headed over to her. She didn't look like anyone I knew, so she probably wasn't from Alcantra. Alcantra is a small town of about 5,000 people, and everyone knows each other. So it's a town? Or is it a city? I would definitely recognize someone from my school. I guessed she was visiting for the festival. Are you here for the fireworks? She looked over, startled, panicking at having been addressed. Wait. Her look then turned into a wary sort of glare. I began to regret my decision. Who voluntarily subjects themselves to small talk? After taking her time to glare at me, she answered, I am. And then said nothing else, leaving it up to me to be the conversationalist. She continued to look at me as if trying to figure out my character, which prevented me from throwing, well, it was nice meeting you. See you later, and fleeing. Oh, yeah, that's funny. Alcantra is a town. It's a fictional version of our hometown. Oh, okay. Yeah. I grew up in a town myself, but then somewhere along 5th grade, our town became a city. Which is kind of like the first, no, not really the first, kind of something new in where I grew up. We kind of progressed. And then, like, the last time I visited my hometown, there was so much progress. I could barely see any more, like, fields where the water buffaloes would use to graze. Like, there's a whole lot more buildings, a whole lot less trees, and fields. But there were still some fields tucked away in some places, but not in the usual, like, roads where we used to not in the roads that we used to take to get to places that we would go. So yeah. Plus, a huge mall opened up too. I soldiered on. I'm Nick Fox. I'm guessing you're not from around here? She hesitated, then slowly nodded her head. Where are you from then? None of your business. She spat that back at me quickly. A little taken aback, I regretted my soldiering on and thought that she probably just wanted to be left alone. I began to start walking away when she spoke again. This kind of feels like, you know that movie with Ethan Hawke Uh, like something about sunset, like before sunset, before sunrise. Yeah, this is starting to feel like that movie. Before, yeah, the first one was before sunrise. Yeah, and the next one was before sunset. Yeah, that was a pretty nice movie to watch. It was full on dialogues though. So, for people who are not into dialogues and into action and stuff, like maybe it's not their thing, but it's a really nice movie to like just see through their conversations. Uh, in like see the conversations of what usually goes between people who are interested in getting to know each other. So yeah, it's starting to feel like this for me, but I'm not yet sure. Okay, because like there's supposed to be a ghost involved. Moon Knight. What do you mean, Giant? Sorry, there are secrets a girl has to keep to herself. Well, okay, that's fair. I've heard about the summer festival before, but I've never gotten to actually attend. This is my first time getting to go. Oh, okay. So maybe she's from near here? She seemed more willing to talk now. I thought I saw the faintest glimmer of a smile show up. Oh, Ethan Hawke show made Moon Knight? Really? I didn't know that. Whoa, for real? Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. Ethan Hawke, Moon Knight. Oh, was he the director? Oh no, he was the villain. Wait, I didn't. Okay, I didn't recognize his face there. Oh, bro. I didn't realize. I was thinking like his face looks familiar, but I wasn't able to tell like who. Turns out it was him. Oh. He has aged, but damn. He looked really good in Before Sunrise. I suspect it's because guys are easily swayed by smiles, even by the ghost of one. But I decided I could at least be a good host and recommend her a good viewing spot for the fireworks. Okay, he's kind of like accommodating. Well, the fireworks show starts in a few minutes. There's a spot through the path there that has a great view. You're welcome to join me. But what about the solitude you wanted? She hesitated before slowly getting up. Sure. I nodded and headed toward the path. She walked behind me. So you got a name? Yes. Uh, I waited for her to tell me her name, but I guess she had that regal air about her. Maybe she wasn't used to dealing with us commoners and didn't throw her name around so casually. Excuse me, I needed to burp. But geez, if this was like in the 1980s, I didn't know like there was still some royalty around to still call yourselves commoners. Gee. What's your name then? It's Alexandria. Ooh, powerful name. You have a last name? I asked because there was a good chance I would know someone she's related to if she was visiting, given that everyone knows everybody around here. There was a brief silence as she thought about it. Who has to think about her name? I mean, probably not if thinking about their name, but thinking if they should share it, probably. Sorry, I can't tell you that. I sighed. Another one of those secrets you girls have to keep. Yes, but I also don't answer strange questions from guys I haven't met before. Uh-oh. So true, but then again, you're following him to a secluded path, to a secluded place. I'm not sure that's smart either. She was very guarded and short with her responses. But honestly, from the tone of her voice, I got the feeling she wasn't that upset with me. We exited the trail, and the clearing emerged. Oh, that's a nice spot. Yeah, really nice. I sat down where you could see the fireworks best. I decided to break the ice by introducing myself. You should have done that first before asking her name. Well, I'm Nick Fox. I'm a senior at Alcantra High. It's nice to meet you. Actually, he did introduce himself earlier. Just didn't say who you what he did. It's nice to meet you. She sat down a good distance away from me and gave me another wary glance. Tell me, do you often try to pick up strange girls at night? She got you there, pal. Well, at least she recognized that she was strange. I don't think that's the point here, man. I decided to jab back. No, I don't. And I'm guessing you're not used to being talked to? She gave a sad sort of smile that made me regret my little jab. Uh-oh. No, I'm not used to being talked to. Wait, is she the ghost? Is she the ghost? Cause why? Well, why would you say this? That made me regret my jab even more. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Don't worry about it. Silence descended between us, while I tried to think of reassuring platitudes to give her while she sat calmly, with a dignified air. She may have been lonely, but she was used to it. Ah, damn! I'm getting really big feelings, vibes that maybe she's the ghost. Cause how are you wary of people talking to you and saying that you're not used to being talked to? Wow. And also, wow, this guy has psychic abilities. The thought made me a little sad. Oh, the fireworks. Wow, that's a really nice trail. Ooh. Before I said anything, the fireworks then began, a dazzling and dizzying light show accompanied by distant cheers. Even with all the noise, the silence between Alexandria and I was much more striking. Uh-oh. I wasn't paying much attention to the show, the novelty of the rest of the experience being much more interesting. Yeah, you're sharing it with somebody different. Oh, this is a nice one. I glanced over at her and saw that her expression had changed a little. Not by a lot, though. I guess not even the splendor of explosives could completely wipe away whatever melancholic feelings she might have felt. But this time, that empty look was accompanied by the hopeful glimmer of a smile, despite having given up my solitary tradition. It was probably worth it to share a part of my world with her. When the show ended, I probably wouldn't see her again. Mildly hopeless as I am, I wanted the sentiment of the festival to ring true. Ooh. We took so many pictures for this fireworks scene. We only used a couple % of them. I see. I mean, that's usually how it goes, right? But it's always good to be over-prepared than not at all. Also, fireworks are really hard to take photos of. There was a while back I was really interested in photography, and I I didn't have like the good equipment for my camera, my camera lens to be able to take like good photos in the dark. And you really needed like a low ISO for it to work, and also low aperture for everything to be visible in the dark. And then there's fireworks. You have to do something with the like you need to do something I think maybe higher exposure but still lower uh, like higher ISO, lower aperture to like take the photo really fast, because if you do it bulb it's gonna leave like trails like this. But if you want it to be like sharp and whatever, it has to be like in a different setting. It's been a while since I've taken like since I've held my camera, so I can't remember like the exact settings. Hold on. But yeah, these are really nice, like just because of the colors and the trails. And using it as a backdrop, yeah, really nice, really nice. After a moment of time that felt like it lasted both mere seconds and an eternity, the fireworks were over. All we were left with was the afterglow of a celebration and the growing glow of the stars above. So you enjoy the show? If you're visiting, there's not a lot to do here, but at the very least, the people here know gunpowder. What? That's not something you would want to promote to a girl unless she likes shooting ranges. She got up and dusted off her dress. I did. It was a great show. She hesitated, then continued on, speaking very hurriedly, like she thought she might not get the opportunity to do so later. Aw. I've been in a position where I don't get to interact with people very often, especially people my age, so I'm sorry if I was a little awkward. I don't have many friends. I have everything I need and very little of what I actually want. Aw, that's okay, that's heartbreaking. But like, why not have people of your age? I mean, friends. Like, why not have friends with people your age? Yeah. What happened there? But recently, something good happened to me, and I got the opportunity to come here. I had heard of the summer festival, and I loved the story of the town of Alcantra. Okay, maybe she's not the ghost. She's not the ghost. Probably really sheltered. But then again, well, how come no friends of your age? I mean, even if you go to private school, you're still bound to interact with people given that there's like group assignments. Group projects too. Maybe she is a loner. Probably she likes hanging out with people older than her. As for hobbies, I read lots of novels of all types, but I love mysteries and romances the most. Same. I can't tell you my last name, my situation, or where I'm from, but at the very least, I can tell you that I'm very glad you invited me to see the fireworks with you. Aw. She flashed me a bright smile. While the lonely look sort of suited her, I thought this one suited her more. Yeah, she's cute smiling. Anyway, I have to go now. My, caretakers will be waiting for me. Caretakers? I guess she wasn't staying with family while she was visiting. She gave me a small wave. Bye, Nick. I waved back. See you later, Alexandria. She headed back towards the trail. I sat in the silence, left in her wake for a bit, and then followed suit. On the way home, I became reflective again, thinking of the world she lived in and what it was like. Thinking about that, I began to hope that I might see her again. Whoa. I mean, that would be nice if they could meet again. May 30th, 1997. Oh, a few years have passed. Uh-oh. Like 11 years? Probably. Ooh. Perhaps I was looking for a place to die. Uh-oh. I certainly didn't make an effort to get out of the way of the motorcyclist. I didn't know if it was because I couldn't or because I didn't want to. Oh no! Your life is not worth throwing away. I had been walking up a slope on the north side of town. It was nighttime, and the cold air betrayed the beginning of the warm season we were supposed to be in. As I neared the top of the slope, I heard the shrill cry of an engine. By the time I looked up, the motorcyclist had already lost control, going around the turn at the top of the slope. Then in the next moment, it was barreling towards me. I barely had time to register the pain before I was flat on my back, gasping for breath. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! I turned my head back to see the motorcyclist. They had hit a tree, and it would have been dead on impact. I knew I would soon join them. Oh no. I had returned to my hometown of Alcantra after many years. I don't know why I came back. I hated the place. I had bad memories from my previous time here. The streets, the water, the air, all of it was permeated with my guilt and regret. Uh-oh, what did you do? No matter where I looked, what I did, or who I talked to, I couldn't get away from those feelings. I had tried to escape, but it was futile. No one can run away from themselves. Oh my god, true, we can't. But then we always try anyway. Cause I know I do. This wasn't such a bad place to die. It was quiet and peaceful. And at the top of the slope gave me a great view of the stars. Ah, bruh, no! I used to love looking at the stars. They shined so brightly to me before. Looking at them now, they barely shone at all. It's funny. Looking at the stars now, they seemed farther away than ever. Even though I was about to join them, I reached out my hand to try and grasp a star. Oh, just imagining him like reaching out his hand, like upwards, trying to grab a star as he's dying. Heartbreaking. Of course, my hand never came close. I let my hand fall back down to the ground. I wasn't close to the sky, the stars, or to her. Now finally, I might be able to see her again. My evanescent but ever-present ghost. I'll be with you soon. Let's dance among the stars, you and I. Damn! Smiling, I closed my eyes, and I faded. 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 Ah! I was fading, but getting closer and closer to a bright light. It was far too bright. This sort of radiance, this sort of warmth, I didn't deserve it. I could hear a woman's voice, beckoning me to come. Oh, I'm not falling for that. I'm not stupid enough to go towards the light. Not one as beautiful as that. The woman was pleading, begging for me to join her. I saw a glimpse of what lay beyond that light. It was wonderful and happy. It was too good to be true. Sorry, I'm looking to be reunited with a ghost, but you can't be the one I'm looking for. The ghost I'm looking for wouldn't beckon me to a wonderful to a wondrous place like this. I turned away from the light. There was no place for me there. No, just go. If that was heaven, that's not what I deserved. I'm wretched and despicable, and I deserve punishment. What did you do, Nick? Ignoring the pleading, crying, and begging from the woman's voice behind me, I faded away again. And faded, and faded, and faded. This time I faded towards a deep darkness. Yes, this is where I belong. Once again, I heard a woman's voice. This time the voice simmered with scorn. The words were filled with malice. The tones were dripping with venom. Yes, you must be the ghost I'm looking for. I headed to that darkness and to her voice. It was a voice filled with so much hatred, but it was enticing and enrapturing to me. This is where I belong. This is where it would end for me. I faded away and faded and faded and faded and faded away. Oh, he lived! I awoke to the irritating beeping of a vital signs monitor. With some effort, I managed to sit up in my bed. I glanced around the room. I figured out quickly that I was in a hospital. I'm guessing my injury was pretty bad. My arms and legs seemed to work fine, though I was hooked up to several machines. I was alone in the room, with nothing but the sterility of the hospital atmosphere to keep me company. It wasn't pleasant company, and I wanted to find a button that would summon medical staff over, but I figured it'd be a bad idea to just start pressing buttons. I would like to press buttons. But of course, yeah, not to feign medical emergency, of course. But if I had a fidget toy, hell yeah. I'd wait for the return of a nurse or a doctor. I laid back down and reflected on the current situation. I didn't seem to be dying. My body worked. My mind worked. But I was strangely empty. Yes, that's the word to describe it. Empty. There was nothing to me, but only lingering feelings of guilt and sorrow. I didn't know why I felt guilty. I didn't know why I felt sad. I tried to think about my situation. Obviously, I must have had some people in my life who would be concerned about me. Aww. They must be around somewhere. I tried to think of who those people would be. Yeah, what happened to your sister? What did you do? Are there any? I tried to remember friends. I couldn't remember any. Lovers? I must have had some, but I couldn't remember any. Perhaps I was a hermit and didn't associate with others. Uh-oh, did he have amnesia? Okay then, let's think about me. 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 What's my name? I don't know. Uh-oh, he did have amnesia. Uh-oh. What's my age? I don't know. Where am I from? I don't know. What did I do? I don't know. What happened to me? People know these things about themselves. Why can't I answer those questions? Obviously, my brain is working, but I guess it's not working as well as it should. I started to panic. I realized why I felt so empty. Without memories, there was no me. Oh, hell! This is like very much philosophical. Cause like what defines you? It's your memories. It's the things that like that factor in onto like to who you are. Cause like they say, like what they said, right? What makes you you is the experiences that you've had in life. But if you can't remember any of those, who are you? Bruh. Bruh. I'm not sure which philosopher talked about that, but then like god dang. I was only an outer shell with nothing inside. My breathing quickened and I started grasping at the machines bound to me. I needed to get out of here, anywhere but here. It must be the hospital. I'm not responding well to whatever happened to me. I needed a change of scenery. Maybe some fresh air. That might help jog my memory. Sensing panic, a chubby man with a graying head of hair to match a graying beard came in and see my tangled frenzy with the nearby machines, rushed over. Stop! Stop! Calm down, you're all right. Let me explain the situation. You'll be all right. Oh no. Saying that wasn't going to calm me down, but I was weaker than I thought because he easily took my hands off the devices and gently laid me back down in the bed. Oh. It struck me that I was being stupid. Nobody's stupid. Of course, the doctor would have to know something about me, and we could go from there. Rationality prevailing, I calmed down. While the doctor took deep breaths and patted at some sweat on his forehead with a handkerchief, I asked him, "So, what's wrong with me?" The doctor stopped mid-sweat pat to look at me. He slowly put the handkerchief away and then did his best to rearrange his face into a calm expression. Well, no time for pleasantries, I guess. But regardless, it's good to see you awake. I better start from the beginning and then we can figure out your condition. You've been unconscious in the hospital for a week. Uh-oh. You were hit by a motorcycle, and the impact caused quite a bit of damage. It's a miracle you're alive, and as well as you are. None of your injuries are life-threatening. Unfortunately, you also had some spinal and head damage. The damage to your head was particularly nasty. Uh-oh, but if there's like spinal damage, wouldn't that affect how he works with his limbs? A head injury? My stomach began to drop in realization. Now then, you asked if there's something wrong with you. Physically, you took some damage, but nothing to warrant anything as dramatic as saying there's something wrong with you.
I'ma need you to do some stretches now.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks for taking care of me. Okay, I'll do stretch. Oh, wow. Ooh, my back crack. Thank you. Okay. Felt good. Please tell me how you're feeling, and I'll try to illuminate as much as I can. I gave it to him bluntly. I'm done with my meds. Thank you. I can't remember anything. The doctor frowned at that. Well, obviously that's not completely true. You definitely remember some things, but the possibility of memory loss was something we were worried about given the potential trauma of the injury. Let's work out what you can and cannot remember. Can you remember who you are? I shook my head. Uh-oh. Not even your name? I shook my head again. Then you can't remember any family or friends? I shook my head a third time. Do you have any strong recollections, like particularly strong associations of joy or sorrow, even if you can't remember the details? I thought about it, now that he mentioned it. I did feel deep pangs of guilt and sorrow somewhere within me. I told the doctor as much. Uh-oh. Okay, let's return to that in a bit. You remember how to talk, and so you must remember a lot of other things. It's clear that you remember how, and I know this is a vague description, how things work. Like you'll know how math works, so your cognitive abilities are still working. Let's try a different route. Do you remember how apples taste? Yeah, actually I do. I know what they taste like. Interesting. We played a game of 20 questions. My initial self-diagnosis was pretty off. I remembered plenty of things. In fact, it seemed like I remembered most things. I remembered that the Cowboys won the 1996 Super Bowl, that Bill Clinton was the president, and things like that. The only things I couldn't remember were anything to do with me, and so far, I seem to be making new memories just fine. Uh-oh. This is... Ooh. Well, this is highly unusual. Post-traumatic amnesia isn't particularly uncommon, but most amnesiacs experience anterograde amnesia. That is, they can't make new memories. We'll monitor the situation, but it looks like you have a highly unusual case of retrograde amnesia. That's when you can't remember previously stored memories, and even those cases usually just involve forgetting relatively recent memories, not long-term ingrained ones. Yeah, actually. Even more so, to have such a highly specific type of retrograde amnesia, where only certain types of memories are affected. I've never heard of it happening. I suspect that in time, you'll recover your memories. I suspect that the specificity of your amnesia is more likely to lie with your psychological condition rather than your physical. You mentioned strong remnant feelings of guilt and sorrow. It's likely those feelings are the root cause of your current condition. The accident with the motorcyclist was merely a catalyst that allowed this to happen. That seemed far-fetched, but I decided to trust the doctor. It was a lot to take in, but it was reassuring that he thought I'd get my memories back. Then I realized that we were forgetting something obvious. Of course we could figure out who I was. There had to be someone in the area who knew me. I brought this up to the doctor, but his face darkened. Oh no. We'll send notifications to the police about this, and reports will be filed, but no one has come forward regarding you. We're in Alcantra, a small town in northern Michigan. Michigan. Perhaps it's an area you're not from, so identification from a local who knows you might not be possible. If that's the case, then it might take some time for the police to track down where you're from. Hold on! If you're traveling, where's your wallet? Your ID should be in there. Uh-oh. What happened to this wallet? Did he get robbed while he was unconscious? Dude, that's just wrong. Eh? Click. Alcantra. Alcantra. The name sounded so familiar. I was positive that I knew the area. No, it was more than I knew about the area. Alcantra must be associated with those lingering feelings of regret and sadness I had. It must have been a part of me, which made it strange that no one had come forward to identify me. I was hit by a motorcyclist, meaning I was out walking. Surely I had some form of ID on me? Oh, same question, buddy. The doctor's face became even more glum. Well, you had a wallet. Perfect. There's no way my driver's license wasn't in there, unless I didn't have one. But there was no ID in it. Oh no! Great. I don't remember who I am, and apparently, who I was a loser who couldn't drive. Wait, is it only can you only get a driver's license? Like, is that the only available identification for people? Isn't there anything else, like a national ID kind of thing? Actually, there is someone who wants to talk to you about that. We have good reason to think your wallet was tampered with. Oh, he was robbed. Where's the money? You mean they stole the money? No, the money is still there. You still have your $13.47. The tampering was more malicious than that. Oh, what? Also, that's only how much you keep on your wallet? I thought it was really expensive to live in the US. I could be wrong. The doctor gave a big sigh. Honestly, I think you need more time to process all of this. But the person who wants to meet you is quite insistent that it's urgent she meets with you as soon as possible. She's going to be sorely disappointed about your condition. His glum face became even glummer. I hope he had enough saved for retirement. He probably deserved it. Frankly, the matter probably is urgent. Are you okay with seeing her? I am. Okay, I'll update her about your condition and then let her in to see you. The doctor got up and walked out the door, leaving me to stew in anticipation. At this point, I was more curious than nervous. About 10 minutes later, a woman walked in. Ooh! Heels. Whoa, who's she? I like her. I like her energy. She marched in like she owned the place. She's even got a cigarette. She marched in, blah 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 blah, glanced at me before taking out a cigarette and putting it in her mouth. Got out her lighter, looked at me again, probably reflecting on the legality of smoking in hospitals. That's not allowed. And then lit the cigarette anyway. Dude. The doctor didn't come in with her, which I was mildly alarmed by, given her lack of concern for his patient. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but there was something familiar about this detective. Wait, she's a detective? How'd you know? Maybe it was the mannerisms. They reminded me of memories I felt I might have had. After taking a drag on her cigarette, she acknowledged me with, "So, pretty rough spot you're in, huh?" Before I could give her a response, she continued, "I'm Detective Scarlet Storm. Work for the Alcantra police. I tried to get a cool code name like Red Thunder, but they turned me down. So, Detective Storm it is." I didn't know you can get special names. She then pulled up a chair, set it down, and leaned in towards me with an unhinged gleam in her eye. She felt more like a hunter than a detective. I was a patient now, but I'd be prey soon enough. Uh-oh! You know about my current condition then? Sure do. Crazy stuff. A little too crazy for a small place like this. She tilted her head and then glared at me like my amnesia ticked her off personally. Not my fault, lady. Yes? I may be a storm, but I know the importance of order. Something's gotta be done right. Can't have a conversation without a proper introduction. Now, I know you don't remember your name, so we'll have to come up with a temporary name for you. I agreed it was probably going to be awkward to go around nameless in the near future. I nodded. Okay then, let's come up with a name. How about something simple like John? Dumbest thing I've heard. You don't look like a
Drink
John at all.
water. Become moist.
Thanks for the redeem, Giant. I'm gonna drink. Yeah, my throat was starting to get dry. Thanks for that. What does a John look like anyway? I realized I had no idea what I looked like since there weren't any mirrors here. I didn't remember my appearance. Wow, so much self-hatred, John. Okay, not John then. What do I look like then if we're using appearances to decide my name? And while we're at it, how old do I look? You look like you were dumped by your girlfriend. After 10 years of going steady, but not committing to tying the knot. Lots of reading? Yeah, there is a lot of reading, Giant. Tying the knot? Cried your eyes out. Didn't get cleaned up afterwards. Then went out and got hit by a car. Or a motorcycle in your case. Wow. She kind of seems spot on. Except for like the middle part, she's kind of filling it in. She laughed at my shocked look. And then continued. You're a little over 6 feet. With a medium muscular build. You got short brown hair and got some weird stubble thing going on. Huh. Kinda sounds like someone from Stardew Valley. Except taller. And you have some sad-ass eyes. Not great at guessing these sort of things, but I'm guessing you're in your early 30s. Ooh. Once I got over the shock of her description, I vowed to take a shower and look in a mirror, but that could wait. I wanted to hear what this case was all about, and for that to happen, I needed a name. A name! Ooh, the importance of a name. So, it looks like I've seen better days, I guess. Remember, the name should be unique, not some John. I don't know what she had against the Johns in her life. I took some time to think about my name, while Detective Storm tapped her foot impatiently. How about something like Victor? Victor? What does Victor have to do with 6 feet bum? I don't know. Something about the letter V stirs up strong emotions in me. Like I have some long negative association with it. And with how I'm currently feeling, negative is the way to go. She gave me a long look before rolling her eyes. Okay, Victor it is. Let's get down to business then, Victor. As the doctor let you know, your wallet is very interesting. There's no ID in your wallet. Instead, in the little fold where the driver's license typically would be, There was a piece of paper with some words written on them. Words funny enough that the wallet found its way from the medical folks all the way to me. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small rectangular piece of paper. She held it out toward me. Uh-oh, what is it? You think you can handle it? Yes. Of course I can. I found out I'm an amnesiac today. I can handle anything. I grabbed the note. On the paper, in bright red letters, this was written. Her blood is on your hands. Damn, no wonder the music's like this. Uh-oh. What happened? Why is her blood on your hands? What? We just talked to a lady 10 years ago and now we're here. Why? I'm gonna get comfy in my chair. I stared at the note and stared at it and stared at it and then remembered what I remembered. That the only part of my memories that remained was a lingering feeling of sadness and guilt. Ooh. I didn't know who her was. I didn't know what I had done to her. But the message on the note felt right. The note was startling, not shocking. This note was proof that there was an I that had existed. No! Now I had to deal with this. Did I want to know who that was? The doctor said that my condition was probably psychological. Perhaps there are some things better left forgotten. But you have to know. I gave the note back to Detective Storm, who was carefully scrutinizing me, looking for any hint of a reaction. I must have been pretty pathetic to do something bad enough that I felt a need to try and forget what I had done. So, was there a murder? She pulled out another cigarette before answering. There was, brutal one. All I could do was smile at the ridiculousness of it all. I might be the first amnesiac to be a suspect for a murder. Detective Storm must have realized what I was thinking. Oh, don't worry about being a suspect. There's no way you committed the murder. Oh, okay. Thankfully. Whew. I tilted my head at her questioningly. The murder was hours ago. Your alibi is airtight. I already had the note before the murder was committed. However, you must understand that this is all pretty suspicious. Even if you're not the murderer, we've got to consider that you were involved in all of this somehow. No! I nodded. That's understandable. There's a lot of possibilities to consider. 1. Someone who discovered your body didn't like you and decided to pull an elaborate prank. 2. This could be in reference to a past event and not related to the murder case I'm currently investigating, possibly. 3rd, it could be a message in relation to the murder. And lastly, it might have been a message you left for yourself. Wow. Now there's still plenty I'd like to know about the person who left you this message. As for why they decided to replace your ID with that note, I have no idea. And neither do we. And well, if it was you, I'm interested in why you left that note. Why you left yourself that note. It really was bizarre. The scenarios in which someone left me the note seemed so implausible. Why would they do that? What purpose would leaving the note serve, given that given I had just been hit by a motorcycle. Yeah, true. And if I left that note for myself, it begged the question of what I had done and whose blood was on my hands. Perhaps the note was supposed to be a reminder of my guilt. But even so, it was a strange thing to do. It really was. Your unfortunate condition has put quite a damper on the potential role you might have served in helping me with the investigation. It's not often we get murders around here, and any lead would have helped us. Oh, someone messaged me? Nope. She leaned towards me and once again caught that unhinged glimmer. Even so, I'd like your help with the case. As such, I've asked the doctor if it would be all right if you were to come along and stay with me for the duration of the investigation. Is she gonna be your new love? Is something gonna happen between them? Is something gonna develop between them? From what I hear, you don't have anywhere to go anyway. Until some friends or family come to bail you out from dealing with a hottie like me, I'd appreciate your cooperation. She gave me a wicked smile, like she made me a deal I couldn't refuse. Something about that smile seemed so familiar, even though it wasn't possible that I had known her. That made me a little hesitant. Ooh, welcome back, Tony. How was homework? Also, wow, congratulations. You're very diligent. When I was a student, I'm a bad example for students. I did my homeworks last minute. I'm not proud of that, okay? So I'm really proud of you for finishing your homework. Damn. I'm really proud of you, Tony. Still, I didn't want to turn down her offer. For the sake of getting my memories back more than anything, I owed it not to myself, but to the woman whose blood is on my hands. Ooh, trust me, I'm really, really lazy when it comes to a random choice. Okay, but still you did it anyway. Because it's time for a grade. Oh. Okay. Cause like, I think around this time should be like afternoon for you. So like, yeah, I'm guessing like all your classes would have been done today, and you did your homework. So I'm proud of you, buddy. Don't say anything. Don't say anything to degrade yourself. For me, it was always last minute, unless it was, unless I needed to come up with some codes, like a program. So yeah, that one I would do, like give myself some time. And let's look on the bright side. Staying with a detective would beat staying cooped in the hospital going crazy from not remembering things. Who am I? Well, that's easy. I'm an amnesiac, potentially involved in a murder case, calling himself Victor. Who was I? I could have been a murderer. I could have been an accomplice to a murderer. I could have been just an idiot who got caught up in a murderer. Maybe I was just a nobody. I could have been anyone and done anything. Who will I be? That was the real question. Oh my god. To be or not to be? Who I am now? Will it still be the same person later on? No. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's triggering a lot of questions in my head. I got the feeling that once I remembered who I was, that who I was would determine who I would be. You could still change. Having made up my mind, I nodded towards Detective Storm. It would be my pleasure, Detective Storm. I look forward to working with you. She nodded back. Should warn you though, might be a spooky case. Ah, why? A ghost is involved? What? What do you mean? Many of the local residents think there's a supernatural element at work. No! They're saying these murders are being done for the Ghost of Alcantra. For the ghost? Uh-oh. Why? Isn't the Ghost of Alcantra supposedly like linked to a romantic tradition? Whoa. Finish prologue. Oh, I got an achievement. June 7th, 1980s. Oh, we're back to the past. We're back to the past. I woke up at a bright and early noon 30. What? I woke up at a bright and early noon 30 the day before the festival. Early noon 30. My brain is loading. Does that mean 12:30? I had a groggy staring contest with my ceiling, glanced around my messy room that needed to be cleaned, and headed down to eat breakfast or brunch. Whatever meal label my brother would sarcastically give. I trudged down the stairs to the kitchen, but stopped once I heard whispering. My mom and dad were chatting with Uncle Kyle around our dining table, but rather than the boisterous wall of noise I expected the arrival of a relative to cause, the trio spoke in hushed tones. Ooh. So the story switches back and forth between the 97-87 material. Oh, okay, so like, yeah, there is a 10-year gap. Ooh. Okay. So it's like we're seeing flashbacks and everything of what happened, filling in the gaps, and then seeing what happens in the present. Oh, god dang. Storytelling. Yeah, these kind of storytellings, whenever I would read mystery novels, like it's enticing because like it doesn't give away too much, and like it just slowly fills you in as it tries to like revisit the past. So yeah, it's exciting, like giving you peeks of what's happening. Yeah, it's exciting. This is a very nice read. This is a very nice story. Also, like the way it describes emotion. Yeah, I like how it describes the emotion and the severity of the moment. Especially like when they were like I know that it said a lot about faded and faded and faded, but like that's how you feel when you like the thought just goes on, right? Anyway, like, I am not able to explain myself very well. But yeah. They obviously didn't want me to hear what they were talking about. Something was up. Uncle Kyle was a detective, and he wouldn't show up unannounced unless something had happened. Knowing they would shut up if I joined them at the table, I crept at the bottom of the stairs to eavesdrop. Ooh, your parents and Uncle Kyle? Was it bad, Kyle? I could see everyone from where I was hiding. Uncle Kyle just nodded glumly and looked into his coffee mug like it contained a dead dog inside it. Uncle Kyle is my mom's brother. All three of them went to Alcantara. My parents stuck around the area like many people growing up around here do. But Uncle Kyle took the more exciting route and left for the big city. Oh. Both of my parents work as school teachers, but when something exciting happens, a state detective is called in to investigate, and Uncle Kyle has showed up several times over the years. His first case was dealing with a serial sock stealer. What? But a murder in Alcantara? This must be a first for him. Wow. Yeah, it's a nasty piece of work. Never seen a murder like it. The body was cut into pieces. Each limb was severed from the main body and then cut into several more pieces. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is where the 18 plus comes in. Kids. Kids not allowed. They were placed in various locations in the house. Oh, is this like a ritual? Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, it is graphic. What the hell? Very, very detailed it is. It sounds like a demonic ritual if you ask me. What the hell? The head was taken off and placed in front of the door, so it would be the first thing you'd see when you entered the house. Oh. Okay, that made my stomach sink. Ugh. Shoot. Please, please don't tell me it's not the girl. Please. The main torso had a litany of stab wounds. Tell you what, I've been doing this for a while now, and none of the murders in the city I've worked on were this bad. Nearly threw up looking at the blood all over the place. Mrs. Johnson is downright traumatized. I don't blame her. Mrs. Johnson? The ice cream stall lady? If she's traumatized, she must have been the one to discover the body, or what was left of it. Then if she discovered the body, who was murdered? My question was answered immediately. I got those when I saw it. Oh my god. Tonya, I thought like we were just gonna investigate a murder, but not this graphic. Oh my god. Oh my god. Poor Marina. I can't believe someone would do that to her. Everyone liked her. Wait, who's Marina again? Marina? That must mean Marina Radek, the lady who was supposed to help out at the ice cream stall. Oh, yesterday. So that's why she didn't show up. I guess Mrs. Johnson discovered the body while going to check up on her. You both get wholesome and horrifying with the Ghost of Alcantra. Devious. Very devious. A deadly Valentine's month. It is. I mean, we are talking about the love, romance, and heartbreak ball. Debutante ball. So this fits in quite nicely. And like personally, I don't really like the cringy romance stuff. Like it's nice once in a while, but like full on sugary stuff. Hell no. This is spicy and I like it. But also really scary. Oh my gosh. Wasn't she supposed to be at the Johnson stall last night? So the murder happened later that night then. Oh. No, she never showed up for the summer festival. She was killed in the afternoon. Killer was bold to do it during the day. Must have been banking on everyone in the neighborhood being at the festival. It was bad luck. There were no witnesses. Uh-oh. True. I mean, I think her heart is definitely broken after the murder, but in the literal way. Yeah, but okay, Marina is not someone we got to meet anyway. It sounded more like a person that someone else knew, you know? Like a third party kind of connection. Like 12th connection kind of thing. But yeah. So at least it's not the blonde girl we met named Alexandria. Unless she's the killer. Ooh. Ooh, that's okay. That's very twisted. I'd like to see how that would happen. Yeah, we should solve this murder. Who done it? No signs of a break-in either. All the doors were locked, except the front door, and the lock didn't show any signs of being tampered with. It's likely that Marina knew the person who killed her, and she let them in herself. Whoa. The settings, like locked door, kind of reminds me of a lot of detective, like Sherlock Holmes kind of cases. You know, like the locked room. Like, how'd that happen? The festival starts at 10 a.m. and is in full swing by the afternoon. Given how big a deal the festival is, the whole town shows up for it. If the murder was later in the afternoon or early in the evening, there was a good chance the majority of the neighborhood would be at the festival. Who would she know that would do such a thing? Uncle Kyle shrugged. Looks so tired. Uncle Kyle looks so tired. Don't know, but whoever they are, they must really hate her. My father leaned in expectantly. So, Kyle, any leads or clues then? Nothing obvious. No witnesses. Nothing left at the scene besides the body. Right now, we're looking into people acquainted with her that might have a motive. Uh-oh. Mrs. Raddick was pretty well liked, so there can't be that many people with a big enough grudge to do something like this. We'll start with the usual. Family members, past history, lovers, colleagues, stuff like that. I'm not sure though. You have to find somebody who's into the occult, because it really feels like a demonic ritual, the way they just cut up her body and spread it out in the house. Bruh. Suspects. Just a few. Delilah Loving Smith of the Classy Jack had a very public fight with her a few days ago. A little fun fact, Nick's dad's character design is based on my Deep Rock Galactic Engineer skin. I'm familiar with the game, but I haven't played it myself. Also, that's really cool. Deep Rock Galactic, who knew? Was the Hawaiian t-shirt also from there? Professor Kashak? I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Clearly had a thing for her that never worked out for him. Beryl Johnson had an affair with Marina's ex-husband. And of course, there's the Thorns. She used to work for them. One of the outfits on Hawaiian t-shirt. Oh, okay. Well, cool. I really appreciate like you giving us a lot of behind the scenes kind of like stories with us. It's really interesting. Thank you so much. I'm gonna tell my friends like this character is based off a Deep Rock Galactic OC original character. Also, I really like Uncle Kyle's eyes. Kind of similar to mine. Uncle Kyle sighed at his coffee. I've been here since last night. Haven't slept a wink since I got the call. Guessing it won't be the only sleepless night. Why'd I become a detective? You ask that now? I thought that was a fairly alarming thing for the detective on the case to say, but my parents didn't seem to care. What was she arguing about with Delilah? The new tourism proposal. Of course, anything to do with the new proposal puts the Thorne family under suspicion. The family is currently our #1 suspect. Oh, Thorn. Wasn't there someone a Thorn in the beginning? Oh shoot. Can I do a right click like history? Oh, I can. Okay, let me save. What's this history like? So there was Alexandria, Nick, Doctor. Okay, I can't go very far in the log. Okay, return. Uncle Kyle is based on Dojima from Persona 4. No wonder. Yeah, I kind of like Dojima. Yeah, the Uncle Dojima. Oh hell yeah, that's what he looks like. Yeah, they look very similar. The Thorn was Alistair. Oh right, kind of like the founding mayor or something who said like he lost his wife. But they're the suspect? Whoa. Uh-oh. That's making that's making the gears turn. Like why? Wasn't Alcantara supposed to be like a town based on love and everything? And now he's a suspect. Though I can't imagine that would make your investigation easy. You've got that right. Uncle Kyle gave another big sigh as he looked like he'd be happy to drown himself in his coffee. No, Uncle Kyle, don't go. This will be a pain. The Thorns reside in a mansion in the southwest part of town on a hill that overlooks the business district. To call them influential around here would be an understatement. Well, yeah, because like there's a festival from the Thorns. They are Alcantra, quite literally. They're the descendants of Alistair Thorn. Okay, it's not Mr. Alistair himself, but his family. And family can get corrupted. Offsprings. The past leader who changed the town name to Alcantra. They originally gained influence from mining and commodizing the copper found to the north of Alcantra. While the copper mines haven't been operational for a long time, they incorporated the fishing and logging the area offered into their business endeavors and remained a financial focus of Alcantra. To speak of money in Alcantra is to speak of the Thorn family. Given how much money they have, you can imagine how much power they have. They ran this town shortly after it was funded in the 1850s, and they run it now. I say they, but the Thorn family only consists of 2 people and the staff who work for them. Oh, no cousins, no aunties, no uncles? Whoa, just 2. What happened? They all died off? The Thorns themselves consist of Elgar Thorn, who has to be 1 trillion years old, and his son Vlad. Yenna Thorn, the wife of Elgar, died 18 years ago. Elgar is an old stick that nobody likes. Which is just as well because nobody sees him anymore. So the area Alcantra is based off of has very large deposits of native copper. So that part of the Thorn history is based on real facts. Ooh, okay. I mean, there's a saying about something story and real life. I can't quite put my finger on it. But yeah, really interesting. But also it's stories like this that makes you kind of think like later on if you're part of like this town and have that kind of same history, you start to feel like, oh, is this gonna happen in real life? Is this like premonition, a prophecy? Damn. It's also like I feel like it's kind of like one of the reasons why I avoid Filipino horror movies or even like TV shows because I feel like it's too close to home. It's scarier for me because like it could just be around the corner for me kind of thing, you know? Instead of watching American horror movies and stuff, it just feels like, it's just happening to them, you know? Oh man. Okay, next. He keeps himself cooped up in their mansion. Vlad is the public face of the family, and he's a funny, friendly, and charismatic dude. Vlad and Elgar actually disagree on a lot of stuff, including the recent tourism proposal, which is Elgar's idea. Oh, what was it? Alcantra is going through a sort of civil war, or as close to a civil war as a town of 5,000 can get. I guess Elgar decided that the affluence of the family could always be improved, so he proposed a tourism group meant to promote the locales of Alcantara. Promote the locales? How do you promote locales? Alcantara is separated from a nearby town called Hamatra by a canal, and the lift bridge that crosses the canal has quite the reputation. Of course, most of the locals enjoy utilizing the canal, and it becoming a tourist destination would put a major damper on local recreational activities. That's true though. It's not a popular idea amongst a lot of folk, though others would think it could be a great way to bring people to Alcantara given our dwindling population. Vlad has voiced his dissent towards the idea, which makes the Thorn family itself split on the issue. Why would the Thorns want to get rid of Marina? Marina wasn't involved with the tourism proposal. Yeah, I'm curious about that too. Don't be naive, honey. You can't trust that family. She worked for them in the past, and you just know that they have skeletons in their closet. I bet they killed her to shut her up about something that would make the proposal go awry. No doubt Vlad and Elgar are working together. If Vlad voices his dissent, it makes the Thorn family seem not so bad as a whole, and Vlad will take over soon anyway, so it's best if he looks good to the locals. Gordelia's probably right. We don't know why they'd want to kill Marina, but we have to be suspicious. If it was the Thorn family, it probably wouldn't be Elgar or Vlad who did the actual killing. I mean, if you're that rich, yeah, you could just hire assassins, I guess. They have plenty of connections and enough money to convince other people to do the dirty work. Marina knew plenty of people, and I'm sure some of those people could be bought, even for murder. Trying to find those trails is where we'll start. Of course, getting the Thorns to cooperate is not going to be a whole lot of fun. Uncle Kyle gave a massive yawn and then made to get up from his seat. That was my cue. I quietly crept back up the stairs and then stomped down as loudly as I could to conceal my eavesdropping. When I reached the kitchen, the adults were all trying to pretend like they hadn't been discussing a murder. I thought I could hear Uncle Kyle talking, so I rushed down. So what happened? Gee, A-grade acting. Oh, we're just having a lively conversation about a wonderful summer day. Uh-huh. So Uncle Kyle came all this way to talk about the weather. He sure did. He wanted to be a meteorologist as a kid. Uncle Kyle and my dad looked at my mom like she was an idiot, which she sometimes was. Oh no, that's something you would want to call out your mom on. No. I did not want to be a meteorologist. My dad looked kind of hurt. I'm the one who wanted to be a meteorologist. No. Really? You think I'd remember that? Right, you think you would? Uh-oh. Mom and Dad has a fight. I guess I've got more important things to remember. More important than your husband's dreams? Oh no. Poor Deep Rock guy. Getting his dreams forgotten by his wife. Uncle Kyle ignored my parents and did his best to put on a serious face, which just made him look even more tired than usual. And he was always tired. Nick, I'm sorry to have to say this, but there was a murder yesterday. Marina Radic was the one who was killed. I'm investigating the case currently. I did my best to put on a shocked face. Really? A murder? In Alcantra? Yeah, but don't worry, we'll get it figured out. So, any investigation details you can tell me? Couldn't hurt to try. Maybe he was feeling talkative. Perhaps I could learn some more than what I had learned from eavesdropping. Absolutely not, Nicholas Fox. Your mother is right. Uncle Kyle smiled a bit. Sorry, Nick. Gonna have to keep quiet on this for now. He gave a big yawn. Well, I'm gonna try and get some sleep while I can. I've got a lot of couple weeks ahead of me trying to convince the powerful family to admit to their wrongdoing. He went upstairs to get his well-deserved rest. My mother gave me my brunch bacon, which I inhaled. I would too if it was bacon. I wondered how the rest of the town was reacting to the news. It's hard to imagine routine life here being disturbed by anything, but if something could do it, it'd be murder. My dad cleared his throat. Nick, your mother and I discussed it earlier, and we've decided it's okay for you to hang out in town like you normally do. That said, we'd like you to be a little cautious out there. Honestly, your dad is such a worrywart. Can't hide in our houses. Best we can do is just keep on living. What are you guys going to do today, then? I'll probably go see Welberton and Terrence. My mom made a face at that. Them again? You see them nearly every day. Why don't you try hanging with Jenny? Jenny is our neighbor and a longtime friend of mine. I basically never see her anymore because basketball has consumed her life. She has basketball, Mom. Or what about that girl you dated a while back? What was her name again? Gardelia. Jennifer was 3 years ago. Who's Jennifer? We broke up a long time ago, Mom. We dated for like 3 weeks. But she was such a nice girl. She cheated on me. Oh, damn. No cheating allowed. No cheaters. Only once. Oh my God, Mom. Once is enough. More than enough. Because I broke up with her. I shook my head in exasperation. Jeez, Mom, stop. Any reason it's gotta be girls, Mom? Oh, wait, I didn't know he swung that other way. She wants grandchildren. want grandchildren. Honey, he's 17. Too early, Mom, too early. So, 3 years of dating, and then marriage, then 3 kids. He needs to get moving. Howard Fox, you and I will soon be ancient history and have nothing to show for it because we're both school teachers and don't make any money. We need Nick to make something of his life and get a family and kids. But at 20 years old, though, that's early. You can't make anything out of 20. I told you that you should have finished the masters. And I should have dated the engineer in our class. Oh, no. No fighting, Mom and Dad. You mean Tim? Oh, he's in jail now, didn't you hear? My mom let out a dramatic gasp. No shit, for real? I rolled my eyes, but I could do worse for parents. I finished up my food, got ready, and headed out to see if Walperton and Terrence were willing to hang out. I waved goodbye and let them gossip about Tim the engineer. Jeez, chismosa. Kinda like me. Neither Walperton nor Terrence live particularly close to me, but that's not a particularly big deal in Alcantra. On bike, it takes about half an hour to get from one end of the town to the other. We have a little urban area with a Walmart and stuff towards the south part of town and a classy old school downtown area more towards the northeast. But the pride of Alcantara is our canal front, past the downtown area. Walberton and Terrence both live as neighbors in the middle of town. I live pretty close to the business district at the southern end of town, so I passed quite a few people along the way. It seemed like it was business as usual. I guess people felt like my mom did. Shouldn't people be more disturbed about murder happening here? Yeah, I would be. I know my mom would be. I know she'd lock me in the house. Oh, god dang. It turned out not everyone was calm. The first thing out of Walberton's mouth when I showed up at his house was this. That's your friend. Hi, Scorpion. Hello. How are you? Welcome. We're kind of in chapter 2, I think, of the story now. Someone just got brutally murdered, and we have amnesia. I hope you like your mystery novels, because this is it. How many chapters are there? Oh, I'm not sure, Tony. I didn't get to see a preview.
Drink water. Become moist.
Thanks, Tony, for the review. I'm gonna drink. Yeah, so here we're revisiting the past of the day where we woke up and our uncle Kyle the detective came to visit our house because he started investigating a murder of a lady who was cut into pieces, and the pieces of her body was scattered around her house, and her head was in the front, like at the front door hallway. So bruh, just imagine. Also, again, this is 18 plus years old only, no minors allowed. This is like so graphic, it's not safe for kids. Bruh. And now, like, Uncle Kyle mentioned that our like the richest people in town are the suspects. So we're gonna see, and we hope to uncover the mystery. Dude, holy shit! Did you hear? Never mind. Obviously you heard. Mr. Rage must be staying with you. Do you have any details? This is wild, man. I did know some details, but I probably shouldn't tell Walburton. There was no doubt he'd spill everything I told him to everyone he knows, and I didn't want to get Uncle Kyle in trouble. Damn. Walburton is a king, and we stand for him in his house. Oh, for real. A king of gossip? Because apparently he likes to talk, he likes to share everything. Don't get Uncle Kyle in trouble. Sorry, man. Don't know anything besides Marina Radic being murdered. Damn, figured you'd say that, but I had to ask. Asked my dad about it. Said in his 30 years living in Alcantra, he'd never heard of anything like this happening. We talked about the incident some. Walburton must have been really rattled. We talk about pretty much everything. From the weather, to relationships, to the fragility of human existence. But with Walburton, it usually always comes back around to sports. Ooh, he's a sporty guy. Are those like swimming goggles he's got on? He loves sports. Unfortunately, the universe did not love him as much as he loves sports. He's around 5'4" and quite chubby, but he does the best with what he's got. Aww, I salute you for that, Walburton. I've been thinking about Mrs. Radic. I'm pretty sure she has a daughter in the area. She's been in Alcantara a long time, though she and her husband split some years back, and he lives somewhere else now. But I think her name was Elisha. Yeah, that's a daughter's name. I think she's still in the area. I hope she's doing okay. Someone should go pay her a visit, make sure she's safe, and let her know we're all here for her. Aw, okay, that's very nice of him, right? Give a tap on the shoulder. I know that brain of yours ain't up for detective work, but you let Mr. Rage know that he should keep an eye out on Elisha. Might be a vendetta against the family. Ooh, what? Are they mafia? I told him I would. Walburton is pretty popular in school. I attribute it to his heart of gold. Aww, he's a funny dude, but he's also a genuinely kind guy. Terrence likes to call us the optimist pair. Okay, he's a very nice person, funny, kind, but also gossipy. I like that. I like Walburton. Both Walburton and I are pretty cheery guys, but he's better at the cheery thing than me. He's a glass half full kind of dude, but the type that would just pour more water in the glass if he thought it looked empty. I'm a glass half full kind of dude, but because I'm a believer, he's a realist. I'm a romantic. I can tell. You want to hang out some? I know you're always looking for an excuse to get fit and impress Jenny. Are we talking about Jennifer? Is that the same Jenny? Walburton grimaced. Sorry, man. Promised my mom I'd help her with some chores. Next time for sure. I told him no problem and was on my way. I started on my way to Terrence's place next. Walburton and Terrence are polar opposites. They say opposites attract for romantic partners, but I think it's more likely that's true in the case of friends. Walburton and I have been friends for as long as I can remember, but sometime in middle school, Walburton adopted Terrence into our friend group. It was surprising since they fought with each other all the time, but I guess somewhere along the line, they found respect for each other from all those fights. Ah, that's pretty good. I mean, not like finding a middle ground with somebody and coming to an understanding is like the best thing you can have with any person. Because you don't have to be the same person to get along. And it's usually like opposing perspectives and such that makes your world grow bigger, your horizons broaden, you know? So you just get to see what's on the other side. When I arrived at Terrence's, the first thing he brought up was the murders, just like Walberton. So, your uncle's staying with you? Yep. You know any details? Nope. Figures. What's the point of being connected if you can't take advantage of it? Tell Mr. Rage he's not doing a very good job at being a corrupt cop. What? What? I mean, you gotta make him lose his job, bro. No, hell no. When he does become a corrupt cop, you send him my way and I'll do my best to learn. I'll let him know. Wait. Since when did you want to become a cop? I don't. Ew. But I'd like to be corrupt for sure. Small place like this, hard to make anything for yourself here. I tried to make a helpful suggestion. You could be a good person and make something for yourself. That's some bullshit and you know it. Good people ain't becoming successful. Well, I guess I shouldn't root for your rise to the top then. He shook his head at my not understanding his ambition. Still, I wonder what's up with the killer for the Radic case. Word is that the murder was absolutely brutal. Wonder what must go through the head of someone willing to do something like that. Terrence likes to psychoanalyze. Walberton is his favorite subject. He thinks that boy has issues. I mean, don't we all? Don't we all? I'm guessing the killer is a psychopath. You know, doesn't think about right and wrong in the same ways most people do. I don't think that's going on with this case. This sort of murderous display screams to me like the killer was trying to send a message, or that this was some sort of fucked up therapy for the killer. It seems too personal to be the work of a psychopath. His analysis made it seem like Dr. Kashak, who had a thing for Marina Radic, or Beryl Johnson, who had an affair with Marina Radic's ex-husband, were the most likely candidates. Oh. You think it's some cliche like killing for love? Probably. Gotta be something like that. Dude, she was like 60. Do old people still fall in love? Side note, yes, old people still do find love. Of course, you idiot. Anyway, I doubt it was a person who recently fell in love with her. I'm guessing it was someone who loved her a long time ago. That sort of brutality screams to me, if I can't have you in life, I'll have you in death. Oh. A lot of cliche sayings going on here. It must be someone who thinks they don't have much longer to live. Ah. That seemed a little out there. I let Terrence rant about how love destroys people's minds for a little longer, and then left. Afterwards, I went to bike along the canal front. It's my favorite thing to do during the summer because of the way the breeze feels coming off the canal. We have plenty of trails, but biking on trails takes more effort. If you just want to get lost in your thoughts, the boardwalk along the canal is a place to do it. The news of the murders had occupied my thoughts most of the day, but as my mind wandered while I biked, they wandered back to last night, to the strange girl named Alexandria. It's not every day you meet someone like that. She was a little weird. Sure, but she definitely didn't. But she definitely seemed like she could be fun too. Just as I, just as that thought crossed my mind, there she was, sitting in a gazebo, with the same sad look and regal posture from yesterday. They meet again. I guess she had a thing for looking across the canal sadly. I biked over. I figured that a shared fireworks viewing established a good enough reason to at least stop and say hello. I set the kickstand for my bike and walked up to her. "What's up, Alexandria? Funny seeing you here again." I thought that maybe we had begun to break the ice a little bit last night, but upon hearing my voice, she turned around with a panicked look, which slowly turned into a judgmental sort of frown that indicated her displeasure that I dared disrupt her solitude. Okay, guess the ice was still there. Well, not every fireworks viewing results in lasting friendships. I guess not. The potential ephemerality of our everyday encounters makes them all the more meaningful. Or so I rationalized as I thought of a good way to make a tactical retreat and leave her alone. Before I could figure out how to do that, she greeted me coldly. "Hello, Nick." Well, at least she remembered my name. "You, like looking at the canal?" She nodded. The ensuing silence between us made the tactical retreat look appealing once again. "You're visiting the area, right? If so, there's a nice waterfall area across the bridge." She scowled at that. "That's none of your business. Guessing you still don't have a last name? Not for you to hear anyway." Yep, let's get out of here. I was being nosy, thinking that every lonely person needed to be talked to. Yeah, not every lonely person needed to be talked to. Well, it was good seeing you, but I better be heading out. I made to leave, but she stopped me with a sudden outburst. "Oh! Wait, Nick. Did you hear about the murder last night?" "Yeah, of course. Well, I'm new to the area, and I might be around for a while. I heard Alcantara was pretty safe, but then a murder happens. Pretty crazy, right?" "It is crazy. Something like this hasn't happened in a long, long time. Isn't your uncle the detective working on the case? How do you know that? Didn't she just say she was new to the area?" "And how do you know that?" She smiled at that. I don't know, when there's an animated characters, this feels really unsettling, especially it's a horror. It's a real life picture. I mean, that's what makes it even scarier, Tony. That's what makes it even creepier, you know? Having a horror setting and you can see like the actual backdrop like looking similar to real life. That's where the true horror lies. I've got my connections. That's not much of an answer. Everyone has heard of the Foxes and the cool detective guy who shows up occasionally. So the people you're staying with told you. Something like that. I doubted my family was as well known as she claimed we were, but I saw no reason to hide the fact. Because they can actually make a really disgusting and real life body in the background. Like, yeah, they could. but then they won't because the characters are animated. It's fine, Tony. But it does feel like a ghost could just pop out anywhere. Yes, my uncle is a detective on the case. And no, I can't give you any details. But what does this have to do with anything? She stood up and made an extremely exaggerated gesture with her arms that I couldn't interpret. I think she was trying to make herself look impressive. You know what? I'm not even sure what I'm talking about, so I better stop. Tony. Yeah, let's not go there, Tony. Let's not. Well, not to brag or anything, but I'm somewhat of a detective aficionado. Basically, the shut-in loner girl version of Sherlock Holmes. Wait, what? Okay, you're more interesting now. You're more interesting to me now, Alexandria. At first, I thought you were just that mysterious lady at the canal, and now, you're Sherlock Holmes. That sort of sentence did not match the Alexandria I had in mind. Jeez, way to break the illusion. Are you telling me that you're going to catch the murderer? She waved her hand. Oh, no. Absolutely not. That sounds dangerous. Which sounds like something I wouldn't do. No, I'm going to offer you a deal, though. She pointed her finger at me. I take it you're well acquainted with this town? Very. Then she pointed her finger at herself. And then we have pitiable old me, a girl with no friends all alone in a strange new land. She was becoming quite the actress. Never would have guessed it of her. But this lonely girl harbors deep within herself a keen intellect honed through years of solitude. Surely her powers of deduction could be of use to help solve the local tragedy that has recently struck this town. Oh, I would like to know. Then she pointed towards the heavens, which were blocked from us by the roof of the gazebo. I attempted my most exasperated sigh. You did mention you like mystery novels. You really think you can help? Maybe a little. So you want to play Sherlock? Well, I'm sorry, but I doubt they'll let a weird girl without a last name, with no stated residency, help with the investigation. She laughed, which was the first time I had heard her do it. No, probably not. I wouldn't blame them, but I've got a deal for you. If you show me around town, I'll give you my thoughts on the murders. Ooh, you've got thoughts already, but you don't even know what's in the investigation. If you think they're helpful, you can relay them to Mr. Rage. I think it's in the town's best interests that the culprit is apprehended as soon as possible. You gotta go. Okay, Tony, no worries. Hope you have a good day. Bye-bye. Thanks for dropping by and hanging out. Yeah, fun reading. I will. I probably wouldn't last very long though. I'm getting sleepy. Yeah. Alright. Bye, Tony. See you next time. It's getting pretty late for me. I couldn't believe this girl. She really came up with this convoluted setup to ask me to show her around? What was her game? Was this a ploy to try and make a friend? Or was there something she was hoping to get from me? Is this an excuse to try and make friends? No, it is a mutually beneficial offer. You know, it would have been fine to be like, "Oh, I'm new around here. Could you show me around? I'd really appreciate it," or something like that. That's absurd. Who'd ask a stranger something like that? I'm not a stranger. We met yesterday. Of course, and to repay the kind hospitality you showed yesterday, and which I have requested you show me in the future, I have offered you the extent of my intellectual capabilities. I shook my head. I was still suspicious. But what ulterior motive could she really have? There was really nothing she could gain by hanging out with me, besides becoming friends with me. I decided I would take her up on her offer, quote unquote. Sure thing, Alexandria. You've got yourself a deal. I'll show you around the town, and you'll solve the mysterious murder of Alcantra. She nodded like that was the obvious conclusion to come to, smiled, and stuck out her hand. We have a deal then. We sure do. I shook her hand. Okay, so let's hear it, Great Detective Alexandria. What do you make of the murder? She shook her head at me. That's rushing things. I need time to synthesize the information. Don't worry. I know you said you can't tell me anything, but I have plenty to work from what was reported in the news. Oh, the news already showed it. So you're saying you want to explore town first? Yep. Isn't the phrase ladies first? Yeah, so we should listen to me first, and I say that I should learn about Alcantara. I couldn't argue with that, so I walked over to my bike, kicked up the stand, and started making my way to downtown, which is pretty close to the canal front. She followed a couple of steps behind me. I think downtown would be a great place to start given how close it is, and it's kind of historical. If you're not into that sort of thing, is there anything a sheltered sort of princess like you is dying to experience? Damn, jab, 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 jab. No. Princess? I turned around and she had a big smile on her face and was a little red. I rolled my eyes. What? That wasn't meant to be a compliment. What? For someone who was so quick to barbed responses, she didn't seem to be all that acquainted with sarcasm. I'm not good with sarcasm either, but that was like pretty easy. Well, the way you hold yourself is very regal. Most people don't care about their posture. Plus, no offense, it can be a little strange. Like, you're learning how to talk to people and don't have prior experience. Top it off with your more mysterious qualities, like not telling me a last name and stuff. That's a good point. You're onto something. I'll settle for being a princess. I had no idea what I was onto. She bounded ahead a couple of paces from me, a marked change in demeanor compared to our previous interactions. Let's make this clear while we're on the subject. There are some topics that are off limits. My last name is one of them, where I'm from, and where I'm staying is another. Personal inquiries about my state of mind are also not allowed. Lastly, you cannot ask me about my family. Ooh. She sure was demanding, but I was getting used to it at this point. Okay, that's fair. I won't ask about those things then. What year of school are you in? She seemed amused by that. I was homeschooled. That explained a lot. Ah, yeah, it does. And I'm 18. I guess I'd have graduated from high school by now. The way she worded that was a little strange. Like being homeschooled meant you didn't get to graduate. Wow.
I'ma need you to do some stretches now.
Thanks, Scorpion.
Drink water. Become moist.
Thank you for the relief, Scorpion. Thanks for taking care. Okay, I'll do some stretches. Ooh, my back really needed that. Thank you. Again, a drink. I think I have about 5 minutes left in me. And my gums are starting to hurt from something because like it's caused by something else. Not because of reading out loud, but something. Wow, never would have guessed that you're older than me. By a year? I'm older? I'm 17. Huh. Then as you're elder, you better start treating me with some respect. With age comes wisdom after all. Yo, in the home stretch. Do you like mystery stories, Scorpion? Okay. Do you like reading books? Do you like reading novels? If you do, what kind of genre do you usually like to read? Personally, I do like romance, like rom-coms. I'm mostly on the fiction side. I like fiction the most. Um, I do like mystery novels, but my favorite is fantasy adventure. You know, kind of like Harry Potter back in the day. Uh, I I also like classics like Anne of Green Gables. Mm, but I really like um, fiction with magic in it. Like the Abhorsen series by Garth Nix. Sabriel, oh, I really like that. I really like the first three books: Sabriel, Lirel, and Abhorsen. I used to be a big fantasy adventure reader back in the day. I don't read nowadays though. Oh, actually, yeah, same for me, Scorpion, because it's like life took over. I have to work and all that, but I've been forcing myself to read again. At least I was able to read whenever I would go on vacation, because then I won't have my computer with me. But once I get back home, it's just computer and phone again. So kind of sad, but yeah, I really enjoy fantasy adventure. I highly recommend yeah, Sabriel. You should try it out. It's got necromancy. Okay. She put a lot of faith in that 1 year she had on me. I realized we had gotten derailed from my original question. I got the feeling that this was going to happen a lot with her. So back on topic. Anywhere besides downtown you're craving to see? She thought about it for a minute. How about Walmart? Seriously? You've never been to Walmart? She shook her head. Sorry, I need to burp. Maybe she was a princess, or maybe an extremely religious type who avoided industrial society. We had some of those types around here. Yeah, that water is making me burp a lot. Okay, I think it should be good now. Well, we can go to Walmart then. It's across town, so maybe we can do it another time. There's lots of smaller shops downtown that have way higher quality stuff. Ooh, street. It's so interesting to find out that the stores in the US are like all kind of like this like short buildings and like grouped together in a district, allowing people to walk like this, because in the Philippines it's like we have malls for that. So like this to me is different. For us, it's like air conditioned all the way, and you won't see the sun. You won't even feel the sun. Unless like it's a glass top roof or something, part of the wing in the mall. But yeah, I could see myself like happily strolling around, but also having my anxiety be like, I hope nobody's looking at me, kind of thing. uh, okay, that was a very big yawn. I think I will end it here today, but I am definitely interested to keep playing this game. So maybe I will schedule a part 2 for this game. Yep. I'm interested to know what happens next. But yeah, we'll leave it here. Let me save here. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Who can we raid? Is anybody else participating? Thank you for that, Bats. It's finally working. Thank you, Scorpion. And thank you for hanging around with me. Yeah, let's see who else is playing. Yami's playing. Story is a bit long, so it's gonna take several parts to finish as an FYI. Aw, okay. Yeah, I'm really interested like how this ends. Thank you so much for making this game. Yeah, I can tell like it is a labor of love, especially when you and your team took all of these photos to include it in the game, to give it like an official like a feeling like this place exists, you know. And really appreciated that nobody resorted to using AI. Damn, like, because I know some people who are kind of like business forward thinking, who just think that they can make games using AI. So yeah, I highly appreciate you guys like doing this, and it is really a truly a labor of love. It was just the two of us working many hours for free. Oh, plus the artist commission. Oh, I see. Yeah. I do highly recommend people checking out this game and trying it out just for the story, because the story itself is very interesting, and a lot of the dialogue is thought provoking. And if you didn't tell me that the writer has a PhD in philosophy, like it wouldn't have clicked because I'm not that smart. But yeah, like once you said it, like whoa, it really does have like it everything, like just because it's thought provoking, it really has a lot of like philosophically triggering statements and questions. Yeah. Yeah, we will definitely schedule part 2 and 3 until we finish this story, because I would like to know how it ends. But yeah, meanwhile, let's look for somebody to raid. If you're all still feeling a little, where is this? Okay, a visual novel. Yami's playing another visual novel game, I guess, because they're also part of the festival. Yeah, let's go check out. Let's go raid Yami. Prepare tissues for the later parts. Oh, okay, I've got my tissue box near me. Only because like I use it a lot to like wipe my face. Thank you for letting me know. And thank you also, Scorpion, for sticking around. Thank you, everybody. I will see you all next time. Tomorrow I will be playing another game that is part of the festival, and it is Taisho Romance, Taisho Theater Romance. Yeah, it will be the same day again tomorrow. I will see you again. Bye bye. Oh, thank you for the follow, Captain Erica. Thank you, thank you. I'll see you all again next time tomorrow, same time. Bye bye.